All right, today we're diving into something huge that's happening right now. A massive, and I mean fast, U.S. military buildup in the Middle East. So let's just get straight to it.
Okay, so what we're seeing from open source intelligence is painting a picture of some serious urgency. We are talking about America's absolute best, their most elite combat units. And flight tracking data? It's confirming it. They are 100% on the move.
And we're not talking small numbers here. Check this out. 35. That's how many C-17 Globemaster transport planes have touched down in Israel and Jordan just since March 12th. And get this, as we're talking right now, there are 11 more in the air headed that way. So, this all leads to the big question, right? Why? What is going on that's making America's most elite units pack up and ship out this fast? And where are they even going? To really get it, we've got to look at who is on the move, and more importantly, what they're designed to do. Okay, first up, let's just talk about the sheer scale of this thing. Right now, the skies over the Atlantic, they look like a superhighway for U.S. military planes. It's honestly one of the biggest airlifts we've seen in a long, long time. And look at the breakdown here. We're seeing thousands of Marines, sailors, and paratroopers. But the key thing, the thing you really need to pay attention to, is the type of force this is. This isn't just a random deployment. You've got the 82nd Airborne, the 160th SAR helicopter pilots, the best in the world, the 75th Rangers, and Navy SEALs. This isn't a standard army. It's a collection of specialists, a dream team, built for a very, very specific kind of fight. And that brings us to the why. So don't think of this force as a sledgehammer. Think of it more like a surgeon's toolkit. Every single one of these units has a highly specialized job, and they're all designed to work together under one single command that exists for exactly this kind of scenario. And that command, that's the XCR Airborne Corps. Their official nickname is literally America's Contingency Corps. Their entire reason for being is to drop everything and go anywhere in the world at a moment's notice to solve a crisis. They're basically the nation's 911. This table really lays out all the different tools in that toolkit, and it's pretty cool. You've got the 82nd Airborne. They're the ones who literally fall out of the sky to take over. Then you have the 101st, who use helicopters to just hop over enemy defenses. They call it vertical envelopment. The 10th Mountain? They're your go-to guys for the harshest, most remote places on Earth. And then, of course, the Marines. They show up from the sea on their own ships, ready to launch a full-scale assault from the water.
Now, at the very, very tip of this spear is a group called the Immediate Response Force, or the IRF. Just think about that name. This is a brigade of about 3,000 paratroopers from the 82nd, and they are always on standby. When the call goes out, they can be wheels up heading anywhere on the planet in just 18 hours. 18 hours. That incredible speed is what makes them America's emergency panic button.
So this slide kind of shows the two main ways the U.S. military can kick down the door, so to speak. You have the Army's paratroopers, the 82nd, who drop from the sky and can land deep behind enemy lines. Then you have the Marines, who come from the sea to storm a coastline and grab a critical spot like a port or an airfield. They're not competing, they're designed to work hand in glove. So you've got this incredible, specialized toolkit all getting into place. The obvious question is, what's the job? What's the target? Well, senior Pentagon officials are pointing to one very specific, very strategic location, and a clear, layered plan to take it. 90%. Just let that sink in. 90% of all of Iran's crude oil exports pass through one single choke point, Karg Island. If you could take control of that island, you would essentially turn off the money faucet for the Iranian regime overnight. It's a massive, massive strategic target. So how would an operation like this actually go down? Well, the plan looks like a 4-act play where each specialist unit gets its moment to shine. First, in Act 1, you'd send in the SEALs and Rangers under the cover of darkness. Their job? Clear out initial defenses, gather intel. Quiet and fast. Then, Act 2, the Marines hit the beaches. They're there to secure the port and the airfield, opening the door for the main event. Act 3, the 82nd Airborne's IRF parachutes in, bringing the overwhelming numbers needed to lock the island down. And for the finale, the 10th Mountain Division moves in to provide that long-term security. It's a textbook example of a joint operation. Now, an operation this complex, moving this fast, honestly, it would have been pretty much impossible just a few years ago. But what's changed is a revolution in military technology that lets commanders see and manage all these moving pieces in real time. And the heart of all this tech is something called Project Maven. The easiest way to think about it is like an AI-powered digital brain for the military. It sucks in data from like over 150 different places. We're talking satellites, drones, spies on the ground, you name it. And it fuses it all together into one single, easy-to-understand picture of the entire battlefield. And the effect of this is, well, it's just staggering. Look at this. Back in 2020, it might take 12 hours for a commander to see something on a satellite and get that information to a soldier who can act on it. 12 hours. Today, with Project Maven, we're talking less than a minute. That's not just an improvement, it's a complete game changer. This leap is what makes a complex, multi-layered assault like the one we're talking about not just possible, but potentially devastatingly precise. It's the kind of thing that was pure science fiction just a decade ago. Okay, so it is absolutely critical to understand that this potential Karg Island plan isn't happening in a vacuum. It's just one move on a much larger, much more complicated geopolitical chessboard that is heating up really, really fast. If you look to the north, for example, Israel is getting much more aggressive in Lebanon. This quote from their defense minister says it all. They're blowing up bridges and creating a brand new security zone all the way to the Litani River. What they're doing is physically pushing Hezbollah forces back and destroying their ability to move, which adds a whole new dynamic to this regional crisis. And at the exact same time, we're hearing from the Wall Street Journal that key American allies in the region are getting ready to jump in. Saudi Arabia is reportedly on the verge of joining and is already letting the U.S. use its air bases for whatever operations are coming. So now you have another major player putting their chips on the table. So let's just put all the pieces together. What's the bottom line? You have the U.S. moving its most elite rapid response ground forces into the region. You have Israel expanding its security zone and campaign in Lebanon. You have Saudi Arabia opening up its bases and getting ready to join the fight. The big picture here is that after weeks of what looked like an air and naval show of force, a very real, very powerful ground component is now taking shape. So you've got the world's most advanced military toolkit being unpacked. You have regional tensions at a total boiling point, the pieces are moving, the tech is online, and the key players are picking sides. It all leaves us with one single, massive question. What happens next?